All right, we're still at it, so here's another video of this week in the shop. First things first, I wanted to thank all of our past, present, future customers, family members, employees. This week we celebrated 10 years in business here at Blue Sky Performance and Restoration. It's been a heck of a ride. We've built some really cool stuff, worked for some really cool people. So from the bottom of our hearts, we're thankful for everything that everybody that's been involved in our success here at Blue Sky. And we're ready for 10 more years. The end of last week, we actually flew down to Texas for the Good Guys car show in Fort Worth, where we went and took Jeff Johnson's two-tone Owner 1 GT to compete in the Muscle Machine of the Year finalist shootout cruise. It was really cool. It was a 100-mile cruise with, I think there was 14 total cars. 8 others were finalists, and then somebody was actually fighting for the crown to be the finalist in Fort Worth. Went to a killer collection, personal collection, went to a road course, and did an awesome cruise with everybody. It was a ton of fun. It's a great event that Good Guys puts on. We ended up autocrossing Jeff's car, drag racing Jeff's car, and in a sea of 600, 700, 800 horsepower cars, our little 400 horsepower Fox body held up pretty well. So.
They had another Fox Body Mustang in the finalist last year for Muscle Machine of the Year. First Fox Body ever last year. They won another one. And they're out there. They both come in. They get
Big congrats to Driven Speed Shop on being crowned the Muscle Machine of the Year for 2025. So we're hoping to get back next year. We'll see. It's a fun event to go to. So keep tuned in on that. So anyway, this is what we got done in the shop this week. We have James, little notchback. Jeff spent a bunch of time trying to get it running. Again, it came in non-running. There was a bunch of things that were a little amiss on the Holley Terminator. The timing was way off, so we got it timed, got it running, and then there's something going on with the TFI, the dreadful Ford TFI that Fox Body guys deal with all the time. So when you rev it up, it kind of like advances the timing like crazy. So we got a new Holley dual sync distributor coming in so that we can, rid it of that inherent Ford TFI distributor issues. So hopefully next week we'll be able to get it dialed in and then start running it on the dyno a little bit. So Bruce's 65 Le Mans is awaiting its 9-inch rear. We ordered it from Quick Performance. Like I had mentioned, we had issues with the 10-bolt, so we just decided to clean slate it and get a 9-inch rear. It's way overkill for power. It's reliability at this point. We want to make sure that the rear is nice and quiet on that. We continued work on Ryan's little Firebird formula over here. We are changing out the manifolds to TPI manifolds. This is a non-TPI engine, and pretty much all the aftermarket exhaust components are for TPI motors. So the main difference being the passenger side manifold has a longer leg to the Y pipe. So we decided to put new manifolds on it. And we did find that someone had been in there before and broken a stud off, and so there was a stud missing. So we went ahead and we removed that stud from the head, which was not an easy feat, but our mechanic Matt took care of it, no problem. So we'll get the exhaust on it pretty soon, and we'll continue on this. Justin's 79 F250 it's running. We fired it up this week, but it has open headers, so we don't like running them for too long. It's kind of obnoxious. But it made noise, it fired. We got hoses on it and everything, and he's been working this week on the transfer case linkage, which is a dual 2 shifters, high and low for 4 and 2-wheel drive. So we modified the trans tunnel cover, which is down over here. So we got that installed. So it'll have a mount and everything, the twin stick and all that stuff. So I'm going to be getting it over on my lift, and I'll start the exhaust pretty soon. It's going to be a pretty trick exhaust with obviously a set of shorty headers. Then it's going to kick down and run on the passenger side, and we're going to install a boreless switchback crossover, and then into some FP Performance street style mufflers, and then it's going to exit out behind each rear wheel. Nice old school look. So this thing's going to be a complete runner in just a couple weeks. So moving along very, very nicely on this. This week we started a new project. Some of you who follow us on Instagram and Facebook may have seen the renderings that we got. This is Tony's 83 Mustang T-top notchback GLX. This week Nick got all the guts pulled out of it, the motor trans. Super clean, solid car. It's all original. It's never had any paint work. Sure, it's got some surface rust here and there, but there is 0 rot on this car, which is amazing. I think this little spot up here on the fender is the worst rust that the car has. Everything else is going to clean up really nicely. So we are prepping it to install it, mock it up on the Roadster Shop spec chassis. It's break time. But not for me. So we're going ahead and removing there's just a few things that you need to remove from the original body. You don't have to cut anything on these cars to install this chassis, but there are a few things that you have to remove. Namely, we're going to be removing the original transmission crossmember tabs are going to be gone. There's a couple weld-in bungs that we have to install into existing holes. This car did have some old school subframe connectors on it, being that it's a T-top car. They help, but these things are still pretty wishy-washy as far as strength. The pulleys for the e-brake cables need to be removed. The upper control arm locations need to be removed, which we have already removed them. And then these cross members or gussets or what have you to the spare tire wall need to be removed, because the new frame rails, they actually go up into here. And then there's some brackets that bolt on to the tail panel back here and the torque box location here. We are planning on getting it down by Tuesday of next week, so you'll see it in next week's video. Over here we have Rick's OBS. Chad's been getting the trapezoid finished up. He spent a lot of time getting it all mapped out, getting it pre-bead rolled before we put a couple bends here and here. And then we'll bend down some flanges, and then it's going to go into the bed. So the inside of the bed is going to be completed in this next week or two. And then we can move on to doing the roll pan modifications and all that fun stuff. CJ's Nova over here has a roof skin for good. The roof skin is on. Like I had mentioned, the quarters are on and good. He wanted to shave the drip rails, so Joe's been working on getting the roof skin where it meets the roof rail. We're gonna weld that in, so that's all done, and then we'll grind it back, and it'll have a nice metal finished, like a nice 1/4-inch body line that remains around the windows for that somewhat OEM fit and finish. Couple Camaros up in the front got worked on. Well, I must admit, I did not realize when I ordered the glass that hardtop glass is different from convertible glass. My mistake. So I have a new set from Auto City Classics coming. You can see it's a little bit of a different shape. Never knew. I'm not an expert in all the cars, so now I know. Learn something every day here at Blue Sky. And then John's 68 Camaro is waiting on its new dash insert for the radio. Again, East Bay Muscle Cars produces this piece. It's a beautiful billet aluminum piece that accepts a double DIN radio. It's pretty foolproof. It's solid. And then it comes with this adapter. You can run the 2 different Dakota Digital air conditioning controls. They have an adapter if you have the older style digital control, or even the 3-knob vintage air control, or if you have the bigger one, which we're going to be running on a different car, but this one has the older control, so it comes with an adapter plate, and then he'll have some USB ports right there, so for phone charger and all that fun stuff. So super nice piece. It's a buy once, cry once kind of part. It's not cheap, but it's billet. I don't think you can find a better piece in the industry than this piece. So we'll get this installed pretty soon, and then we'll start putting some more miles on John's Camaro, and then it should be headed to Texas relatively soon so that John can finally enjoy his Roadster Shop spec equipped Camaro. The Capaldo's Mustang is done, aside from being a final detail. We got the whole car reassembled. We shaved the front license plate bracket holes, so those are gone. We installed the Cobra grill insert with the Maker's Garage bracket. Jason just came out with a bracket that is the factory style attachment, which it uses 2 nuts, and it basically sandwiches the bumper. So looks really good. Anthony supplied us with some brand new smoked fog lights and headlights, and they went with the black pony. Came out really nice. The Cervini's hood fits beautiful. The blend, all the paintwork came out really nice. Dakota really knocked it out of the park. And then we went ahead and installed some black 5.0 emblems on the fender to match the motif, all the black trim and everything. We continued a little bit of sanding on Steve's 67 Chevelle. We're actually, I'll show you, I took Dakota off this because we have the square body going. So this thing is basically just keep breathing. The longer we let this clear sit, the better. So we'll start sanding on that in a couple weeks. And Matt's 72 Malibu crew cab Chevelle is ready to go home. Clutch is in, it's good to go. We installed a new steering wheel in it, kind of, you saw it last week, but I got the horn button installed. This thing's ready to go. I was able to put about 50, 60 miles on it this week, and it's a riot. Brian at Cruisers Customs really put together a great car. Roadster Shop spec chassis, bare brakes, LT4 power, Bowler Carbon Edition 6-speed. I mean, it's got the parts, and it will surprise a lot of people out there. And these LT4s, they run so nice. So Matt's picking it up today, and then he's going to continue his road trip, his East Coast road trip. So now that the clutch is much more happy. And we also set up a time for Scotty Lockenauer to come out and shoot this thing. He was able to shoot this thing for All Chevy Performance, so you'll see it in the magazines in the next couple months or whenever they decide to come out. The booths are coming along, the 2 phone booths. The cabinets have been done, however, we were waiting on some parts. So we got the parts in from Send Cut Send. Tyler at Reversion Raceworks. The engineering is great on this, all the CAD work and everything. We basically got a bunch of parts and we just had to assemble them, so everything rivets together. You can see the bases over here. This is the bottom part. We're still waiting for some squares, some rectangle tubing for the corners, and then the corrugated metal panels that go in. But once these are done and assembled, they're going to look exactly like they did back in the day. So once we get the rest of the parts, we'll be able to get them painted, and we have Pat at Ninja Robot machining us a couple standoffs, some aluminum standoffs. They were less than ideal. I mean, they were from 1967. There's some standoffs that these things would bolt in here, and then it had these fiberglass panels, and most of them, this one actually came apart pretty nice, but it was stainless steel hardware and aluminum, and unfortunately all the screws were seized. So we're getting new standoffs machined for this, and the rest of the parts will go together once we get those, and then we'll deliver it into the shop right where it's going to live. And then last, but of course not least, we have Holly's square body getting cut and buffed. We were able to get the bed on earlier this week. Bed is on and on for good. Just getting the doors, cab corner, everything wet sanded and buffed prior to assembly, so that we can make sure that we get all the orange peel and all that texture out of it. And it's going to look really nice. And then we'll assemble it, put the decals on it, and all that jazz. So if you like this video, feel free to subscribe, like, and do all that YouTuber stuff. And of course, follow us on social media, on Facebook, Blue Sky Performance and Restoration, and then on Instagram, Blue Sky Performance Jesse, and Blue Sky Performance Jeff. So that's it for this week. We got a good plan for next week, and we'll see you then.